The ownership answer that sounds great, but fails the bar raiser. Most candidates answer this question by escalating the slip to leadership and waiting, which tells every bar raiser in the room that this person is a status reporter, not an owner. The question is, you are 6 weeks from a committed launch date, and a key engineering team just told you they need 10 more weeks. Walk me through your response. This question tests ownership, which at Amazon means you act as if the outcome is yours to solve, regardless of org boundaries or formal authority. What the bar raiser is actually listening for is whether you arrive at the escalation carrying a recommendation and a path forward, or whether you hand the problem upward and wait for someone else to solve it. Here is how most candidates, including strong ones, answer this escalation question.
First thing I would do is get the engineering lead on a call to understand what changed and why they need the extra time. Once I have the details, I would put together a clear summary of the situation and escalate to my manager and the program stakeholders so everyone understands the risk to the launch date. I would make sure to communicate the impact transparently and set up a follow-up meeting so leadership can decide how they want to proceed. My job at that point is to keep everyone informed and make sure nothing falls through the cracks while the decision gets made.
Escalates to leadership without arriving with a recommendation or options. Frames role as keeping people informed. Classic status reporter signal. Defers decision-making upward. No evidence of ownership under pressure. Never attempts to assess scope, partial launch, or negotiate the critical path. Here is exactly what I am writing in the debrief right now. Item 1. Candidate gathered information but generated no options for leadership to evaluate. Item 2. Described role as keeping people informed, passive, not outcome-driven. Item 3. No attempt to assess desk scope, partial launch, or dependency negotiation as paths forward. Item 4. Escalated without a recommendation. Treated the decision as someone else's problem to solve. Verdict: does not demonstrate ownership. Same question, same 10-week slip. Now listen to how an ownership answer actually sounds.
My first move is a working session with the engineering lead within the hour, not to gather information for a report, but to diagnose the critical path. Is every one of those 10 weeks truly blocking the launch, or is it two specific features? In my experience, about half of these slips come down to one or two resolvable blockers. I map the minimum viable scope needed to honor the committed customer date, identify what can ship in a fast follow, and stress test whether the blocking dependency can be parallelized with additional resourcing. Then I go to leadership with 3 options: full descope and launch on time, partial launch with a firm fast follow date, or a negotiated slip with a compressed timeline and accountability owners. I own the recommendation. I do not walk in with a problem. I walk in with a path.
Immediately takes action. Diagnoses root cause before escalating. Generates 3 concrete options. Arrives at leadership with a recommendation. Identifies minimum viable scope, shows bias for action and ownership together, explicitly owns the recommendation, never defers the decision upward without a view. Notice what changed. This candidate never once waited for someone else to frame the problem. Item 1, diagnosed critical path immediately, did not accept the 10-week estimate at face value. Item 2, generated 3 actionable options before escalating. Arrived with a recommendation, not a problem. Item 3, identified minimum viable scope to protect the committed customer date, customer backthinking. Item 4, explicitly named accountability owners for each path, showed end-to-end program ownership. Verdict, strong signal, raises the bar. Before your loop, run your escalation story through these 3 questions. 1. Did you diagnose the slip yourself before escalating to leadership? If not, you are reporting status, not demonstrating ownership of the outcome. 2. Did you arrive at the escalation with at least 2 concrete options? One option is not a recommendation. It is a problem handed to someone else. 3. Did you explicitly own which option you recommended and why? Presenting options without a recommendation signals you are avoiding accountability under pressure. If you cannot answer yes to all 3, the bar raiser will not see ownership. They will see a coordinator. How do your real stories score? Get a personalized report scored against the interview rubric Amazon uses for TPM roles. Map to every leadership principle you will face in your loop. Find it at interview101.com.